Suicide is the leading cause of death for Australians aged 15 to 24, with about 350 young people taking their own lives every single year. These are young people that will never get to see their families again, never get to follow their passions, nor fulfill their dreams. And that is not the worst of it. More than 1 in 5 young people suffer from a mental illness. That's 1 in 5. Mental illness can cripple a person's ability to socialise, work, study, and see themselves as an important member of society. On top of this, rural and regional areas have much less resources and professional help. In fact, rural areas have 57% fewer psychologists than that of urban communities. These statistics are a call for action to address rural youth mental health. And thanks to the funding of the Ross Trust, at Youth Thrive Victoria, we are able to implement research and strategies to fulfill this need, to determine how to build capacity in young rural leaders and to be able to support their own and others' mental well-being. We researched the benefit of youth mental health first aid training that, thanks to the Ross Trust, we are already providing to Youth Thrive Victoria alumni, and how the key learnings from this youth mental health first aid can be incorporated into the Young Rural Leaders program. It was found that youth mental health first aid training significantly improved, firstly, young people's ability to recognise the signs and symptoms of mental illnesses. Secondly, their confidence to approach and support someone with mental illness. And thirdly, the knowledge on the signs and symptoms of mental illnesses. It also, lastly, improved their attitude, their positive attitude towards people with a mental illness once they had been trained with youth mental health first aid training. There are all amazing outcomes, they really are, but the question for us was, how do we distribute these skills further and implement some of these into our leadership program? So we went ahead with the new edition of the Introduction to Youth Mental Health First Aid Training in the Young Rural Leaders program. It was designed by alumni who had undergone the Youth Mental Health First Aid Training, and it included first an activity that compared physical and mental health to demonstrate their equal importance and start to break that stigma associated with mental health. A presentation on mental health statistics for youth, signs and symptoms of prevalent illnesses, and also around how can we support those with suicidal thoughts was delivered throughout this session. And an introduction to the youth mental health first aid strategy called ALGIE, with time to practice building people's confidence in identifying, approaching, and responding to those with a mental illness, was also really valuable to the session. Participants enhanced their capacity to manage their own mental health, support others' mental health, and also equipped them with the resources to educate themselves further about mental health and mental illnesses and how we can support this within young rural people. They are now also invited to complete the Youth Mental Health First Aid training that alumni are invited at Youth Thrive Victoria to attend. The participants and presenters evaluated the session, and in the future, it will be accounted for the broader variety of knowledge levels that we had and how can we start to target these different levels of knowledge in mental health and mental illness. And we want to provide more discussion and reflection and have opportunity for participants to be able to really reflect on their own knowledge and incorporate that into the knowledge that they've learnt to really build a strong foundation for these young rural leaders in the space of mental illness awareness. Overall, the feedback of the session indicated that this was a really meaningful and essential addition to the Young Rural Leaders program. Thanks to the Ross Trust, these conversations and leadership actions will save lives, increase involvement and inclusivity of all community members, and ultimately support Victorian rural communities to thrive long into the future. Thank you.